Hello everyone, this is LW Gaming and welcome back for another video of Sword of Convallaria. And today let's talk about what has been added for this week's update. And this is just a second week of the current debut update. And by the way, each debut updates are like 2 weeks, so this is actually somewhat faster than Languisher's updates, but anyways, you get the idea. So let's see what's new in the events. So many events has already ended, but there's some that are coming soon. So let's see what is new this time around. We got Polaris Blessing. So now the Star Trials will have 9 additional extra rewards. So that means you can go and claim get all these rewards as much as you like up to 10 times in total. And also on top of that, during the event, all 3 of these Star Trials are available as extra drops. So that'll be amazing if you need those extra rewards, a specific kind. And that's about it from the events. There really isn't much to talk about. Now, as for the banners, let's see what we have available with banners. Last time I forgot to say that every time when there's a new debut banner, there's also the imprint banner as well, which will feature the debut characters' exclusive weapon. Personally, I'm not going to poll for this because, as I'm aware, there will be a collaboration with Delicious and Dungeon series by the end of this month. So yeah, I'm not going to poll for this yet because I know that there's going to be like a collab at some point very soon. So yeah, watch out for that. And then there's now a new Destined banner featuring 2 characters. They both are kind of like a newly released back in the day. So the first one we got is Homa, and fortunately, funny enough, this character is actually important for a certain mode, like for example, expedition mode, where Homa is required as some of the expeditions or the one that you had dispatch characters. Homa is an important captain for that mode. So if you don't have her already, please get her. But if you care about the collab more than anything else, you can just don't bother about summoning this. But anyways, let's get into the full kit while we're here. Not necessarily full kit, but a preview kit. Anyways, this is what she looks like as a 1-star, and this is what she looks like as a 5-star. And also let's read what her. Actually, before we do that, let's see what kind of faction she's part of. She's part of a Drifter and Aggression. These are the 2 that she is part of. So if you need anybody that's within these 2 factions, especially Expedition does really come in a big role for those factions, it's definitely not a bad idea to pick her up. But as long as you have the resources for collaboration. But otherwise, don't risk your resources just for this one character because you can actually go without her, and if you have other options. So her trait is called Best Partner. Homa ignores block, and her physical attack is increased by 20%. When she is healthy, her movement increases by 1 tile. After Homa or the ally Balur is what performs a single target attack, Balur will be called to attack again, dealing 40% of Homa's physical attack as physical damage, and stealing 2 random buffs and 1 energy for Homa. Pretty strong trait there, if you ask me. And there's the basic attack right here. It's called Tangling Flying Knives, and it's a single target attack. Deals 100% physical damage. After attacking, the character can move again, with the distance being the remaining movement plus 1 block. So it's just kind of like a console effect, like when in Fire Emblem Heroes, for example. Like after you attack, you will be able to move away from danger if possible. And in her case, like the movement that you don't use yet, plus the 1 extra mobility, which will allow her to be able to reposition herself. Pretty neat, right? Or you can think of it in Languisher terms, move again. And then the next one we have is the class skill called Hovering Support. It's a 1 cost NRG, 3 turn cooldown. It's an instant skill. Homa makes Balur stay on the target, grants them move 2 and jump. Both gains attack 2. During this time, when Balur is called to attack or heal, the corresponding skill effect is increased by 1.5 times. and this will last for 2 turns. Pretty strong if you think about, like, you can bring it to an ally that you like to support, and then they'll gain extra movement as well as the ability to jump, which is pretty good. And then we also have the tactic choice. This is a decision skill. This one can have Homa choose one of the 2 skills shown here. So we got Burrow Attack. This is a skill that will call Shahin to deal 80% damage to the single target and inflicts blind and physical defense 3 down. And this will last for 2 rounds. Calls Balur to deal 40% damage to all enemies within 2 tiles of Balur, with a 50% chance to inflict blind for 1 turn. And blind is actually something you need to watch out for, especially in PvP. But if you're using someone like Hasna, you don't have to worry about blind because she is blindfolded. So that means blind doesn't really do much against her. However, if you choose the other skill called the Cool Breeze, this will call Golly to heal the target for 70% of the caster's physical attack. And this will dispel healing receive block before healing, which is pretty useful for in many situations. Like if your character ends up being like healing blocked for some reason, this will actually ensure that this gets dispelled, as long as it can be dispelled. I'm pretty sure it will be able to, but yeah. Calls Balur to heal all allies within 2 tiles of Balur for 40% of physical attack, then dispels 2 debuffs. Pretty strong healing power there. So you can use it offensively, which will cause some some blindness and also physical defense down, which is actually pretty nuts. And also even more damage afterwards too. Or if you really need some like healing effects on there, go for Cool Breeze. This will actually help your team a lot for the defensive capabilities. And then next up we got is Harmony, is a passive skill. At the end of the turn, if basic attack or skill was used, heals all allies within 2 tiles of the character for 20% of physical attack and dispels 1 debuff. Pretty neat. And then finally we got Hashralaram Carnival. Is a support skill. Is a 3 cost NRG, 4 turn cooldown. Homa grants disturbance to the target and to the ally Balur is assisting. Then they each deal 60% physical AoE damage to all enemies within 2 blocks, or 2 tiles actually, based on this game's terms. Additionally, inflicting active skill block and passive skill block on enemies within the target's range. All effects last for 2 turns. After casting the skill, Balur stays with the target for 2 turns. Yeah, pretty strong indeed. Like, not only they are not able to use their active skill and passive skill during the 2-turn phase, which makes them very useless. Makes them really useless when they are not able to use their passive or even their skills. So far, Homa is a nice addition to have if you don't have her already, but again, like I said earlier, if you don't have the resources to pull for her, don't sweat it. You can always try again later. And speaking of try again later, I know that this banner may actually coexist with the next debut banner. I don't know what exactly that one's gonna be, but I think it's someone from the Delicious in Dungeon, if that was correct. But we'll have to see. And then the next one we have is Cocoa, which I'm not gonna be showing you this here because I have her as a 5-star on my part. So we're gonna read that one instead of using the preview version because I have all the skills that I like to cover here. And to give you an idea how she works, and though funny enough, she's my strongest in my roster. So anyways, this is this is Cocoa, and this is what she looks like as a 1-star, as you see here. And this is the 5-star version. And also there's also this skin here as well, but I don't have this one here because I never owned it. That looks pretty nuts here. So yeah, we'll stick with this one. So anyways, this is this is Cocoa, and hold on, I think I see how can I pull up the trait. There it is. So this is what her trait is. So it's called Breakfast Happiness. Cocoa possesses block. Her HP is increased by 20%. At the start of each round, she grants breakfast to the 2 allies with the lowest HP percentage with 2 tiles of herself. After a breakfast or bento effect is triggered, the target gains happiness. So let's see what this is, because this is going to be something that you need to keep in mind. So block is something that most defenders have. Cocoa is defender after all, which makes sense for her. And the breakfast buff is that at the start of the turn recovers 15% HP and dispels 1 debuff. Pretty useful. But if you end up getting bento here, the effect is actually even stronger than the breakfast. So bento recovers 25% HP and dispels 2 debuffs. And after getting these effects, there's a chance they'll gain happiness. And what this does is that for all skills, reduces energy consumption by 1. After use, cooldown is reduced by 1 turn, removed after any action is taken. So yeah, having this buff is something that you need to keep in mind, especially when it comes to how you how you use your skills, because when you got happiness buff on yourself, you'll notice that most of your skills got their energy cost reduced, and also their cooldowns got reduced as well on top of that, which makes her a very powerful support unit for any team of your choice, of course. And the faction she is part of Velder, which makes sense because she is one of those the tribe people in the mountains, and Fortitude because she's a tank. And as for the skills, how you unlock these, you go through here. On rank 1, you get one of these 2 skills. You can pause the video if you want to, but I'm going to go through each of these for a bit. So Mountain Tribes you get as one of them, and you may pause the video to see for yourself. I'm not going to explain everything because I already covered this character for a lot of times already. And then there's Crushing Bash, as you can see here. We also have Potluck Protector. Is a passive skill. And then there's also Cocoa's Treasure Chest. This is used as a support skill that can use either for your team, yourself, for healing, or even remove debuffs or something. Or you can use the mushrooms to cause some havoc to the enemy, which will cause them to sleep for 1 turn. And inflict them with infection. And on rank 5 you unlock the reaction skill. You get defense here, range attack, as you can see here. Or you can go for the unique one called Stay Strong, which basically means that after she get hit or anything, she's going to recover 12% of the caster's HP for herself and the ally that she's trying to heal. And then she also has Block Enchantment, which is this rank 7 skill. There's also the Leader's Aura effect for all Velder's ally, which will increase attack by 10% and defense by 20%. Pretty useful. And there's also No Turning Round. This is the one that knocks them back by let's see, is this the knock? No, that's not it. That's the basic attack. Okay, whoops, my bad. So if you attack them from the back, you will stun them for 1 turn, which is absolutely nuts. But if you want to go for the other way, this will work too. But for recommendation, I would say go with this one because the stun is huge. And on rank 11, Invulnerable is one of those you can choose from. Or if you want to go for a support route, go for Iron Pot Stew, which will heal everybody within three tiles around you. And this will give them bento, which is pretty useful in the longevity of the game. I mean, of your team. I mean. So yeah, that is Cocoa for you. And the kit I recommend here are shown here. So this is the skill kit I went with. I went with this here, No Turning Round as the basic, Stay Strong as the reaction skill, Try the Pan, which is the one that knocks them back by 3 tiles, and then the Iron Pot Stew, and the passive Potluck Protector. This will protect your team from from any incoming attack for within 2 blocks. And as for the weapons, as for the gear, I went for Denial Hammer, which will increase her knockback by 1 additional tile, which is super neat. And also Crystal Burst Armor for increased HP. And also Strike Back deals more damage. But unfortunately, she doesn't do Strike Back, so this might not be helpful. But the purpose for this armor is to ensure she survives as much as possible. And then as for the Terra Whisper, I went with Mercy of the High Priestess, which will increase her healing effect, which is super helpful since she is somewhat of a healer and a tank at the same time. So anyways, that's a wrap for this video. So hope you all find this video helpful or informative, and I'll see you all next time.